What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If y'all know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Of course, check them out. Ooh, the angle is a little messed up. There, a little better. So, this video's topic. I know I said this video yesterday and didn't do multiple. I told y'all I wasn't going to do multiple yesterday. However, I am doing multiple today, and I'm starting with this one. So, this video's topic, as I was saying, is going to be, kind of a new series that I'm starting. All right. Debunking gun myths is what I'm going to call it. Just your standard myths you hear throughout the firearm world. We're going to start with this one, which is the rule of threes. Here's an issue with the rule of threes. All right. Before I even go into debunking it, I want to point this out. Let's just argue even that it is true for a second, right? Let's say the rule of threes is true. And by the way, for those of y'all who don't know what the rule of threes are, the rule of threes, for a self-defense situation, mean that it's going to be around 3 seconds that the entire situation happens. Around 3 shots are going to be fired, and this is where they get a little iffy about it. Some people say 3 feet, some people say 3 yards, some people say 3 feet or less, some people say 3 yards or less. You know what I mean? So that's where it gets very iffy. So let's ignore that part, all right? Because if it legitimately was something that was the case, it wouldn't be such an argument in that small area for the people who do believe it, anyways. So let's just go ahead and say that that is what's happening, right? We're gonna ignore that whole part, as I said before, about them contradicting themselves and arguing with themselves about what it is. Let's ignore it. Let's say everything else is true. So the fuck what? You might not be in a normal situation. You might not be in the average situation. That is the truth of the matter. All right. You might fall into that however many small amount of percent according to the rule of threes that has to fire more than 3 rounds, that the situation does last more than 3 seconds, that the situation is further than 3 yards or closer or whatever the fuck that shit is, because they can't even fucking keep their own goddamn heads right on that. They'll sit there and argue with each other about it. Oh no, it's 3 feet. Oh no, it's 3 yards. Oh well, actually, it's 3 feet or less, my good sir. No, it's not. People like to say the FBI did this study. There has been no study done by the FBI that has involved self-defense situations where it's including the range of them happening as far as distance. That there's never been a study taking place as far as that goes. Now, the only thing I can say is that there was I can't remember his name for the life of me. However, it was out in the 70s. This actually, I think, is when the rule of threes kind of started becoming a thing generally. It was I believe it was a police chief, said, mentioned the rule of threes. I don't think he called it the rule of threes. I think, somebody came up with that nickname. Obviously, I don't think it was him. So, however, that is what he described it as. And it's not accurate. I can point out numerous situations that completely avoid the rule of threes that, says, nope, that's out the window. So that itself is already such a big issue. Now, here's the thing. I don't care what anybody says. People like to get guns that have a limited capacity because of the rule of threes. Here's the truth of the matter. If you're in a self-defense situation, you need as many rounds as it takes to put down the threat. Now, put down does not mean kill. Put down just means that the threat is no longer a threat. So, whether unfortunately it involves killing them, whether it involves just injuring them, however many rounds you need in that situation is what you're going to need. Now, of course, common sense says, oh, well, we can't know how many rounds we're going to need in this, in a future situation that we might not ever go into. Because let's be real here. Yes, the chances of having to use your firearm are pretty low. All right? That's the truth. Pretty damn low. However, with that being the case and those chances already being pretty low, why would I want to take another chance of not having enough rounds to stop the threat? You see what I mean? That's a big issue. And people like to bring up the rule of threes, generally speaking, when arguing about capacity. So if I kind of veer off on a capacity, that might be why. So that's kind of one of the biggest issues is, it's it's just not true. It isn't. Now we can take a look at what we have seen from our own eyes, right? Because granted, there's not video footage for every self defense situation. I mean, I think we all can agree there. I think that's something that's obvious, or at least there's some that just isn't released. That as well. Sorry guys, my nose is really damn itching right now. Got some lotion on that bitch. Thought that wouldn't make it itch that much, but it does. So, as I was saying, all right, the rule of threes just simply is not true. I know I said that like 3 times. Sorry, guys. I have ADD. I get a little distracted. So, if you're going to sit here and rely on the rule of threes, which you understand, you're talking about a quote unquote average that, even if it is true, you still don't want to take that risk, considering how low of a chance it is you're going to have to use your firearm. Most people don't ever have to use their firearms to defend themselves or anybody in their lives. That's just the truth. Most people just own firearms and go shooting. So I think that to just sit here and keep in mind that was said in the 70s. All right, I believe it was 71 to be exact. I can be mistaken. I'm not sure, but let's say it's 71 just for argument's sake. Jesus, that is 50 years ago. That was half a century ago. Actually, over half a century ago. That's the biggest issue here, is that is an outdated concept. Nowadays, situations are being involved where look, most gun violence situations, right, are in low income areas, the hood, where the gangs are, all this shit, right? So with that being the case, I don't know about y'all. I know what hood niggas like to tote around. Why? Because I hang around with them. Not all the time, but I mean, fuck. I used to hang around with them all the damn time. I know them still. They're still close to me. I don't hang out with them as much because they do things I don't agree with, but they respect it. So, with that being the case, I can tell y'all for a fact, unless they're in a state like New York or something like that, it's going to be very unlikely that you're dealing with somebody who, let's say you're in a gunfight, is only going to use a few rounds. So why should you? I think that's going to finish this video. I know it's a bit short, but as I said, I do got more that are going to be coming out later today. So with that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, the rule of threes, even if it is true, all right, which we can agree at this point it's not, all right, even if it is true, it still doesn't seem like I should take that risk or you should. Now, one thing I do want to point out real fast, actually, we can take a look at what we have seen. This is actually one of the points I almost forgot to skip over. I know I brought it up a little bit, but my ADD kicked in. Y'all know how it is. So, with that being said, we need to take a look at what we have seen, right? We've seen a shit ton of videos. Not all of them are recorded, as I mentioned before. However, we've seen a lot of videos. I think Active Self-Protection is definitely a good channel to watch for something like this, because you definitely see there are a lot more situations that happen at further than 3 feet or 3 yards. We'll even say 3 yards just to be nice, than you would think. There's a lot more of them. So it's a higher risk than people would like to admit. And if I'm not mistaken, I think actually John Correa of Active Self-Protection said himself that he believes it's generally around 3 to 8 yards. That's why I believe he said, please, if I'm misquoting him, someone correct me. But other than that, I think that about covers it. As I said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell, do all that good shit, right? And because y'all think the rule of threes is bullshit, as I was saying before, y'all make sure to go check out the podcast channel. Check out Adam's channel, Center Fire Podcast, Gun Nut TV. Y'all know what the deal is. Damn, I shouldn't have shook the camera that much. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.